Today the topic we talking about you know how we gonna go into a few different topics just off how we get into having conversations, but one of the main topics we gonna cover today is this young lady.
Julia Ward.
She was what's her name?
Julia Ward.
Her name Julia Ward. She was going to Eastern Michigan, and she was studying to be a counselor, and it didn't work out. She's going through a case right now because she didn't want to counsel homosexuals. This lady, she a Christian. She not know Hebrew, but she know the little bit of Christianity that is, common sense, which is it tell you in the Old Testament and the New Testament that you're not supposed to be a homosexual. So we're going to go into and show how the school is actually going against this lady because she have a certain belief and she stand for something. So we're going to expose how this system is actually against anybody who stands for something. And the higher you get up in the system, you can't stand for something. That's why it's so wicked up top. You got these politicians and you know what I'm saying, and these people, these banksters. You got all these people who are up top ruling, don't care about nobody. Why? Because they don't have no morals. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to find out that the European, 90% of their pineal gland is calcified. They up there, they don't have, see in the pineal gland, it works with your remorse, the way you feel, your compassion. They don't got no compassion. You know what I'm saying? Because they do. You can tell they don't got nothing because the stuff they do. So that's just what we're going to get into. Bezalel going to read from the paper. You're going to see this stuff is crazy. And that's just how we're going to go through it. And hopefully you get some understanding of why we do what we doing. You know what I'm saying? Why we think the way we think. Because, not because this is how we woke up one day and, we woke up one day and this is how we felt out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? No, this stuff came from experience and reading. You know what I'm saying? We out here living in the world just like you would. You know what I'm saying? Stuff happened to me maybe differently, or, it's different for different people. Maybe because your skin is lighter or your skin may be darker, you might have a little more trouble. And that's just how it is. Even back in the slave days, when you had the, the house Negro was a little lighter than the field Negro. So that's still how I run, History repeats itself. If you ignorant of it, you're going to get slapped with it every time.
That's right.
And that's just how it's going down. So
that's right.
We're just going to, read this, and Bezalel going to read it. I'm going to take the camera, and then that's how we're going to do it. So, Bezalel, go ahead and read. And we gonna interject. We're going to interject and let you know the key points. And we're going to reflect and hit some scriptures with it, too, just to let you know, what's going on. Go ahead, read.
It says, these 5 simple yet profound words come from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit's recent opinion in a case involving Eastern Michigan University's expulsion of Julia Ward from its graduate counseling program.
Hold on, so they expelled her from this counseling program, and we're going to see why they expelled her. Go ahead.
It is difficult to conceive of 5 words that more aptly sum up the lesson of this case, a lesson all public universities and professional associations should heed. The opinion reverses an earlier ruling and remands the case to district court for a jury trial.
And it said it's going to take all these universities going to take heed because whatever happened in this case is going to affect many universities because it's going to the high courts.
Yeah.
So if this gets brought in and approved, like if she wins her case to the high courts, then this is going to be a common law. You know what I'm saying? So that's how. Go ahead.
Yeah. It says, EMU says it supports, indeed requires tolerance and non-discrimination. But when it came towards religiously based need to refer a client, Eastern practiced anything but. Ward is a Christian whose religious convictions keep her from providing counseling regarding sexual relationships that violate biblical teachings.
You see that? So she don't want to counsel anybody, that lives a lifestyle that's against biblical teachings. Probably why is because she probably have to bring the Bible in there to give them more understanding if she can do that. But if she can't do that, then that person, how you going to counsel somebody without the tool that you need to give them the understanding of what's going on, which is the Bible?
Or you have to counsel them into a behavior that you know the ramifications of. or that you know that it's against the nature or the nature set for human beings by the Most High. So if she counsels this homosexual in a homosexual relationship, then she'll be forced to give him or her some insight or some advice on how to do something that's completely against the nature of human beings set down by the laws of the Most High. So that's why she feels like, you know, it's not, she probably doesn't have a hatred for the human being or a hatred, you know, she probably not, but she doesn't want to be a part of helping this behavior push. How can she go and tell you how to make this relationship work when it's completely against the natural laws of how we were created?
Right. Yeah. And not only that, just the fact that if you're a counselor and you care about the people that you consulting, you're going to want to give them the best advice. Mm-hmm. And she know the best advice that she could give them is that homosexuality is wrong. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But the college want her to go against what she feel, you know what I'm saying, what she didn't learn, you know what I'm saying, as a counselor, you know what I'm saying, giving people the advice that can help them in their situation. Like as far as homosexuality go, they're going to always experience the same problems because it's wrong. Like you said, it's unnatural. But, you know what I'm saying?
But it's, go ahead.
So like right now, you got a problem right now with people getting sick because of the food we being fed. You know, the Food and Drug Administration, they give us this food, they make us sick on purpose, and they give us these drugs that don't cure us, but help us get along with the disease. But the reason why we are diseased is because we have preservatives, things that are unnatural in those foods that we are eating. And anything that is unnatural is going to be destructive in the end. It's going to be unproductive. Right. It's bad for you. Unnatural means bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It means like, can your blood run the opposite way through your body?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Can the planets go the opposite way around the way that they were set to go in?
Yeah.
You know, and when you start talking about, you know, the nature of how we were set up, you know, homosexuality is not about some, I mean, it's really, there's no such, I mean, gay, by the dictionary, we know what gay means. Gay means happy. You know, so when you start talking about homosexuality, you're basically talking about a sodomite. That's really what you are, by definition. By definition, you aren't gay because gay's definition is to be happy, joyous, happy, and whatnot. But the thing I find, you know, strange about the whole thing is that I'm gonna say about around 20 years ago, homosexuality was regarded in psychology and in the study of the human mind as being a mental deficiency.
Yup.
That's what's crazy about it, and how now money.
The psychologist's Bible.
Exactly, and now they don't touch it like that anymore. I don't know, because the monies that have been raised through lesbian and so-called gay men, who I refer to as sodomites. I don't know if, you know, they have a movement now.
Yes.
So now you have to be real careful, almost in the same way that you would talk about a so-called Jew. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about Hebrews. I'm talking about the so-called Jew who have anti-defamation laws, or even speaking out against them. I mean, you will be pressed very hard if you were to speak your mind in accordance to the Bible about this behavior. I don't know if you saw the thing that happened. What happened to Kobe Bryant, who made a remark about. He wasn't even talking about gays, but he said fag to the referee. Yeah. I think he was charged $150,000 for that, right? Yeah. Now listen to this. What about Tim Hardaway? Tim Hardaway was asked how he felt about homosexuality, and at this time, he was a telecaster. He was working, he was a sportscaster. You know, he had got a job doing that after his professional career. And what happened was, when he was asked, he said, listen, I'm not with that behavior at all. He was going hard about it. Just answering the question as it was asked to him. He no longer has a job being a telecaster for the NBA. So it lets you know that they have lobbyists, they have people out here, man, that are pushing their agenda. You know what I'm saying? And they're not trying to hear about what the Bible has to say about it.
Yeah, because that agenda goes back to the eugenics program with Martha Singer, right. Also with Jimmy Carter and Agenda 21.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Basically to go at black people, right. Because we're the most fertile people. You know, they told us we have a animalistic sex drive or whatever. Exactly. So they gotta so at the same time they trying to somehow cause us to not reproduce, and how they do that is turn us into
create organizations such as Planned Parenthood that will also motivate you to destroy your seed by telling you things like, you know, you can't afford a child, or there's not enough earth on the ground from people overpopulating this earth. Right. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line is, you can take homosexuality, if you want to call it that, You can take that outside the text of biblical of the Bible. You can just look at it from a natural aspect.
Yeah.
Can two male dogs having sex create a puppy? You know what I'm saying? I mean, these things are not. I mean, for someone who may not be want to incline his or herself to the Bible, we don't have to look at it like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Is this a behavior? I mean, that you would want your son, who you would want. Hopefully, you like some progeny from you, and you're like awesome offspring coming from him or her. Is this the type of behavior that produces offspring?
Yeah.
That eventually brings in prophets, that eventually brings in presidents, that eventually brings in people who can change the current condition. You know, you can't raise no prophet with two women. They can't have a baby. And two men humping on each other can't have a baby either.
Yeah.
So it's not, I mean, you can get outside the biblical context and just look at the natural law of it.
Yeah, it should be common sense. But yeah, we're going to get back to this article.
Hold on, read that scripture real quick in Leviticus
14?
No, that should be 20 and 13.
20 and 13?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And if a man shall lie with his uncle's wife, he has uncovered his uncle's nakedness. They shall bear their sin. They shall die childless.
Is that 20 and 13?
13 and 21.
It's 13.
Oh, okay.
It's 13.
Okay, it's 13 and 20.
If a man also lie with mankind, as he lieth with the woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death.
Read that again.
Their blood shall be upon them.
Read
if
that
a man also lie with mankind,
so if a man lie with another man,
as he lieth with a woman,
as you're supposed to lie with a female,
both of them have committed an abomination.
both of them have committed abomination, and what's going to happen
They
to them?
shall surely be put to death, and their blood shall be upon their own head.
Right, so now, you know, Christ came. You can't do that to people, but that's what initially would have happened back in the day. So this woman right here, she just basically like, look, I'm not dealing with this stuff, and we going to see how she dealt with it, okay? Keep going. Read that, please.
Oh, yes. It says, the Sixth Circuit Court rightly described Ward's beliefs as those that prevented her from affirming a client's same-sex relationship, as well as certain heterosexual conduct such as extramarital relationships. When Eastern asked Ward to counsel a client regarding a homosexual relationship, she did what all good counselors do.
Hold on, she did what she was supposed to. Go ahead.
Ward asked to refer the client so she could help by someone better suited to meet his needs.
So she referred the client to somebody else because she couldn't deal with him the proper way that, you know, her biblical understanding would have had her to deal with this person.
Right, which means that she wasn't about to leave him without any vehicle to get herself the counseling that he needed.
Right.
She just made the assessment that she wouldn't be the best person for that, considering her principles and her morals and her values. It wasn't like she said, get away from me, or degraded him, or her, whoever it may have been. She just said that I am not capable, you know what I'm saying, based on my value system, of helping you without sacrificing and compromising my beliefs and values.
Mm. It says referrals are widely accepted in the counseling profession and are specifically endorsed in the profession's code of ethics. Ward did nothing wrong and in fact acted consistent with her profession.
So she didn't do nothing wrong. She kept the ethics code. Go ahead.
She acted as consistent with her profession's ethics code and with what she had been taught in class about referrals. The tolerant and non-discriminatory response to Ward's request is obvious. Honor the referral request. Instead, Eastern put Ward through a disciplinary process during which Eastern officials repeatedly targeted her religious beliefs.
Read that again, please.
It says, the tolerant and non-discriminatory responses to Ward's request is obvious. Honor the referral request. Instead, Eastern put Ward through a disciplinary process during which Eastern officials repeatedly targeted her religious beliefs.
You see that? They put her through a disciplinary process and was targeting her religious belief. So they was basically trying to tell her that the Bible don't actually say this.
But the key word in the whole thing was disciplinary process.
Go ahead.
You disciplining me because of what you say you believe in. I'm sure these people who are on a disciplinary board had to so-called call themselves Christians.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but the word that you're using for the actions that she did was disciplinary. It was a disciplinary process that she had to go through. Now this is crazy, man, because you know we want to call ourselves by these honorable names such as Hebrew, Christian, Muslims, you know what I'm saying? But in order to be a Christian, you have to follow, you know, the guidelines stipulated by the Most High. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it on your accord. If that's the case, you write a Bible. If that's the case, you write your own book that goes for your own life. And if you feel that way, that's fine. But don't call yourself by this book that has rules. It has commandments. It don't have suggestions. The Most High don't suggest that you do A, B, and C. He commands that you do A, B, and C. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that when we take this book out of context and try to put it into the context of our own lives or what, you know, as a country we want to do. This country is talking about, you know, in God we trust. Yeah. Okay, then why not just do what the Most High said to do if that's really the key? But no, you don't want to do that. And
I mean, what's really significant about this portion of the article, it tells you that they specifically targeted her religious beliefs. So let you know these people are anti-Christ. You know what I'm saying? When they attend church or so-called call themselves Christians, they're obviously against Christ.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Meaning you can attend. So you basically what you're telling us is that you could attend church and still be against, and you can still be anti-Christ.
Oh yeah, most certainly.
Anti-biblical.
Yeah, I mean, Cain brought an offering to the Most High in Genesis. His heart wasn't in it, but he was still there worshiping, doing what he was supposed to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But his heart wasn't in it. And that's the difference between a lot of people who call themselves Christians or Muslim. If your heart not in it, if your mind not Lord, like if you honestly believe, obviously they don't believe in it because they target it. Now, first of all, we all protected under the Constitution to worship whatever God we want to in America. Mm-hmm. So why are you targeting her religious beliefs? Trying to get her to change her stuff. I mean, that's unconstitutional violation of her constitutional rights right there. You know what I'm saying? But this is what we didn't come to in the last days because everything is to the point to where it's mass Satanism. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's about the ideology of these institutions, you know what I'm saying, who have the beliefs of man. Like if you go to school right now, you got biology, they still teaching the theory of evolution.
Right. Because if my whole thing is to create a society that is almost barbaric, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be, you know, teeming with homosexuality, teeming with, you know, undisciplined children, the ability to just do what you want in life, you know what I'm saying? Very violent, very lustful. If I'm pushing an agenda to push a world like that, then the first thing that I'm going to have to do is get rid of the concept of the Most High. That's the first thing I'm going to have to do. In all my establishment, I'm going to have to do it from schools. I'm going to have to take that out of schools first. I'm going to have to move on to the higher education, and I'm going to have people who will come in, and although they believe, I'm going to ask them to leave your beliefs at the door when you're doing this job. You know what I'm saying? Leave God at the door when you're doing this job. So if you leave God at the door while you're doing the job, then whose job are you doing? Right. I mean, if you leave the Most High at the door when you're doing any task, then whose task are you ultimately doing?
Go to Matthew 6:24 real quick.
I mean, so yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just like, I mean, homosexuality is just a perversion of the natural order of things. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you was, instead of eating food and knowing that it's gonna come out your rear end, put food in your butt.
Yeah.
Just put the food in the wrong end and see what happens. So right. you gonna get infected. You gonna get sick. You gonna have to have that stuff removed. Nothing good gonna come from it. Nothing good gonna come from homosexuality. I mean, yeah, temporary pleasure. You know what I'm saying? But sexual intercourse has a purpose, and it's to reproduce life on earth.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And it's only because of man's own lust and desire that he done perverted it and made it seem like something nasty and freaky.
Exactly.
When really it's something holy and good, but it's not supposed to be experienced with X amount of people, just whoever or this. You know what I'm saying? Because when you have sex, it's a spiritual thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No matter how you cut it.
Yeah, it's a spiritual
and that's good. I'm glad you talked about this, man. I mean, because, you know, most of our conversations, we have different settings that we like to talk about first, but then our conversations go where they go.
Yeah.
But what you're saying about the sexual experience is a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
And that's why people who say, well, I got a booty call, or people who say, this is my friend, it's my buddy, they use that as terms as we don't actually have a relationship, but we have sex. And that's why ultimately those things come to show themselves to be fake. Yeah. Because as soon as that person you called your buddy or does something outside of you automatically feel something in your heart about that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It hurts you. Yeah. Not because you tried to say that he was your buddy, but the way things are designed, it has a natural order, and what you did, you tried to violate that order by calling it something that it wasn't. So now your feelings are involved, as they should be.
Yeah, they should be.
As they should be, because this was a very intimate action.
It don't get no more special.
Right.
Between two human beings.
And you dumbed it down as calling him a buddy, or he dumbed it down as calling you his jump off. And what y'all did was a matrimony. You know what I'm saying? But
read that and reflect back on how you said you got to leave your belief at the door dealing with this money.
Okay, this 24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold on to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon.
So you can't serve the Most High and money.
Right.
Just like they're saying, you got to leave your beliefs at the door.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This system is not geared for you to serve the Most High. It's geared for you to serve Satan, man. And that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? It's geared for you to serve Satan, not the Most High. So that's why this woman has to compromise her morals to move up in the ladder to get an education. Because as you can see, if you read this, she ain't even graduated yet. They already trying to give her the boot. Like, this woman ain't gonna make it. Right. She can't make it through here because guess what? She ain't gonna be able to move up them ladders because you need to be immoral to move up them ladders is what it's saying. Mm-hmm. But we gonna continue on with it unless one of these brothers got something else to say.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
It says, according to the transcript of Ward's final disciplinary hearing, MU offered her a remediation program aimed at changing her belief system. So right here we see that they got a whole program aimed at changing her belief system.
Right. Read that again.
Because they want her to conform with their ideology. You know what I'm saying? It says, according to the transcript of Ward's final disciplinary hearing, EMU offered her a remediation program aimed at changing her belief system.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, they didn't went to the whole point of, we not mad at you to a certain extent for rejecting, but what we need to do is change the way you think, change what gods you worship, change what, and who are they to do that? If y'all are educational institution that's based on a curriculum that have to do with, you know what I'm saying, general studies, who are y'all? This is not no theologian college. This is not no theologian college. Who are y'all that aim to change your religion? Yeah.
You said curriculum. And I don't care if we're talking about science, I don't care if we're talking about the education system, they have curriculum, meaning a set way that's already there before you get into it. So that's why medicines aren't healing nobody. Because a lot of new breakthroughs aren't accepted by the curriculum. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? A lot of new understandings about human behavior is not accepted by the old curriculum. Yeah. Freud and all those other brothers that came up with some ideas that may be outdated, they still have set the foundation for something that's kind of rigid now. I don't care if it's about science. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about you got evolution and you got creationism. Now evolution says something to the extent that we came from monkeys. Okay, but then or that we actually evolved. You understand that, right? Okay, so if we evolve, let's just say we talk about the eye. The eye's got so many different mechanical parts, right? That we need in order to be able to see. Every part needs each other. Now, if I was waiting for this part to evolve into another part, I would never be able to see to eat. I would never be able to see to defend myself. I would never have any eyes at all. I wouldn't be able to defend myself at all because I'm evolving. I'm waiting to be able to hear, waiting to be able to walk.
And that's funny. That's funny that you say that, because when I took human biology a couple semesters ago in college, it was funny to me that the teacher said, she was like, well, we still haven't figured out why humans die. And you know, I laughed to myself in my head, because I'm like, well, the Bible says because of sin. You know what I'm saying? That's the only book that tell you why people die. The Bible tell you people die because of sin. Sin brought death into the world. But another thing is that when you take human biology, you learn how complex the human body. It's like the whole universe. It's not its own world. It's like its own universe. Like, it's all type of individual life structures going on inside you, killing and eating and doing all type of this stuff. I'm talking about trillions and trillions of cells working in perfect harmony to create one entity.
But do you know that? But do you know that cells destroy and rebuild? Everything is destroyed and rebuilt. Everything.
So my point is, if y'all intelligent, how could you say that something this complex by chance evolved from a single cell? That's what human biology, they tell you we came from single cell organisms like amoebas and stuff like that and evolved. Some slime climbed out the water, you know what I'm saying? This, that, or other. And then like Brother Mark said, if we come from monkeys, if we evolved from monkeys, why them other monkeys didn't evolve? Why are there still monkeys? But the whole concept don't make sense if you think about it.
Look, it was a good point, man. I heard this and I really feel it. The chances of everything falling in place for human beings and the whole ecosystem, and it's just life in its ultimate, being on Earth or wherever life exists, in order for life to exist by accident or a big bang theory or whatever you say, just happenstance is basically what I'm saying, would be like having a junkyard, a typhoon just come, or a big hurricane just rip through the junkyard. And after the hurricane ripped through the junkyard, you got a running Boeing 747. You know what I'm saying? Just by nothing, but some wind throwing this junk around, everything falling in order. I mean, the light switches work, everything's in perfect order by this hurricane just coming through and blowing all this metal around. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There is an idea behind the Boeing 747. Yeah. Engineers got together and did it. I don't care if you found a watch on a seashore. You may not know it's a watch, but when you open it up and see the gears, you start messing with the gears, you see, dang, this gear pushes this gear does this to this gear. Yeah. And you see they all intertwine, they all work together, but then over all of that, you see that it was an intelligence that did it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So basically, that is another way of pushing the Most High out of His order. Using terminology like Mother Nature is really against us today. You know what I'm saying? That's what Mother Nature prevails. You know, this is another way of just taking the Most High, who is the. If you find a constellation, if you find a new math equation, that's because you found something, but you can't put your name on it. No, you can't. It already existed. Yeah. You just became wise enough by the blessing of the Most High to be able to see this thing that He already had. Once you find out how the sun burns its gases and stays lit, or how the planets go around, that's something you just stumbled upon. It's been knowledge to Him. Yeah. He keep it whole. He don't weary. He don't slumber up under His responsibilities. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's deep to me, man. Because everybody want to take the Most High out of things, man. You want to have your child believe in Spider-Man and all these different cartoons and games the same way you should be telling them about the Most High. Yeah. You see how these ants act out here? Man, you ever watch the ant? I mean, that's how you should talk to your children about the Most High, how He put this type of intelligence in things. That way, they'll be just as excited to hear about Him and how He does their heart, how He does their mind, how they can see, how they can smell.
The real superhero.
Yeah, you talk to Him like you teach your children that He the real superhero, and start talking these and keep them away from this other garbage, man.
Because that's funny you said about that Boeing 757. Because this one guy told me, he was like, you can go through many different mountain ranges, and then you'll come across Mount Rushmore, and you'll see, you know what I'm saying, this mountain that got these human characteristics chiseled out. You know what I'm saying? He like, what's the chances that this mountain look like this just happened?
Right,
like this?
Happenstance.
You know what I'm saying? So if this mountain was chiseled to look like this to give this you know what I'm saying,
definition,
a image of human beings. What's the chances that we just came and just now we here?
But that's rebelliousness, man. It's this man being rebellious against the Most High, and that's why we're in the situation we in. Man, if I've had to, I don't have to be the devil, like with horns on my head, to be the devil. All I have to do is take on a devil ideology, a idea that's against the Most High, to distract and deceive you. You know what I'm saying? To have you think that these things just happen. You're good to do what you're doing right there. That's good behavior. Matter of fact, you only live once. You only come here once. Just do what you do. Live and let live, we say. Which is the most irresponsible advice you could ever give somebody, is to live and let live. If I allow this man to post up on this block down here selling shake, you know what I'm saying, or my man down here to, you know, do what he doing on the block of my children run, all I got in my mind is live and let live. That's the most irresponsible type of behavior or response to give to any of these things that's going on in the neighborhood. But that's a lot of things. That's the way a lot of people.
You know what I can't. You good? Okay. You know what I can't stand? That's like people saying to each his own.
To each his own.
You know what I'm saying? I can't stand that saying to each his own.
Right.
okay, so I can go murk somebody. Let me murk your family then. Is that to each his own?
Right. Or that
Murk
hater
your
word that
son
we was
or
talking about
something.
earlier.
Is that all good?
Every time
To
you bring
each
the
his-
truth to somebody, they call you a hater.
Right.
I don't hate you, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We're talking about, I don't care if it's, you can tell somebody something that's just so actual, factual is true. Yeah. But since it's against what they doing at the time that they doing it, and it's bringing some self-conviction in them, or making them look at themselves in a way that's making them maybe consider, they don't want that consideration, so what they'll call you?
They'll call you a hater.
That means I can just nullify everything you just said to me. Because why? You a hater.
Hey, but y'all gotta hear this next section of this article. Okay, so we know the...
Let me say one thing real quick. And another thing about that hater thing, right? Like, we be on Facebook. I mean, especially me. I ain't gonna speak for nobody else.
I be on Facebook.
I be on Facebook, you know what I'm saying stuff. People like, well, it must be because he doing bad or something like that. Yeah, I ain't rich, I ain't balling, but at the same time, I'm doing good. You know what I'm saying? I done stepped out on a limb a couple times and did some things. You know what I'm saying? I might not have should have done, or, you know what I'm saying? Actually, I stepped on a limb of faith and went to Africa, you feel me? Because I felt like that was, most people wouldn't do that. I went to Africa because the book, my interpretation of that book said, get up out of here. So that's why I went to Africa. Let me see you do that. Where your faith at? I hear people talking about faith. They think, oh, well, where's your faith at? Dog, where's your faith at? You're not doing no works. You're not putting in no work. You're a Christian. You going to church, sit down, listen to a pastor for 50 years. Why you don't know enough to teach nobody? Why at the same time, you don't know enough to teach nobody, you know what I'm saying? So therefore, you not growing. You're supposed to do work for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Who you done brought into the fold. You're supposed to bring into the fold. Right,
it don't say go sit in this church. Where the Bible would say go sit in this church for 50 years, you know what I'm saying, and just be in the same spot.
Right.
Listen to the same message.
When you gonna be somebody's shepherd?
Look, not baptizing nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't, or if that's what you believe, whatever. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you believe, that's your interpretation of scripture. Right. We baptize people. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, well, my whole point is, man, we got people out here who not doing nothing. And then another thing I wanted to talk about was like, you know, they talking about we haters and whatever, whatnot. It's just sad because at the same time, you'll say something like, I'm blaming the system or something like that. Yeah, I can blame the system if they putting crack in our neighborhood, if they created AIDS, herpes, everything that's bad. The government done created that stuff. How can I say? That's just like this. If, at the same time, you would say if I'm hanging around a bad crowd, I need to get away from them because they have bad influence on me.
That's right.
Ain't this system a bad influence on me? If they putting crack and AIDS and all that mean I might run into one of them traps.
You should stop hanging around them too, huh?
Maybe I need to leave this.
But they won't let you say that about them though, huh?
Yeah, so I mean at the same time you gotta look at it, you know what I'm saying, just because I guess the small man ain't as important as the big man, which is the gov. I can't talk about them like that. Oh, because Barack Obama president. Right. Barack Obama ain't did nothing for you. You forgot about that.
But they'll tell you could talk against them, but there will be extra surveillance on you. There possibly could be a lockup coming, false case coming, because you're trying to, you know, just tell the truth.
Right. It's simple and plain.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I want y'all to check this part of this article out. It says, EMU professor took ward on a self-styled theological bout in which he attacked her understanding and interpretation of biblical scripture. Now, he just read Leviticus, you know what I'm saying, letting you know that the Most High against homosexuality.
Read one more after you're done.
It says another EMU professor questioned Ward about whether she viewed her brand of Christianity as superior to other Christians.
Her brand.
So basically what it is her brand of Christianity is the truth of the Bible, which is clearly against homosexuality. You know what I'm saying? In every way, shape, form, and fashion. You know what I'm saying? Calls homosexuality not just a sin, but an abomination. Right. You know what I'm saying? So he gonna try and play mind games with her and tell her whether her type of Christianity. First of all, they have no type of Christianity whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? as far as this homosexuality aspect, that's definitely Christian, her going against that.
Yes.
But for them to try and say that they have a form of Christianity that accepts homosexuality, I mean, that's just, I mean, you just got to be, excuse my language, but a damn dummy to follow the enemy, Shaitan, Satan. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's against the Bible, if I just put it to you like this, every person that claims to be a Christian or believe in Christ or in Israel, the teachings is based on this book called the Bible. They only have validity because of this book. They don't give the book validity. They only got validity because of this book. Right. So when you see people going against this book, you need to have enough discernment to understand that this book is way bigger than them. They only got their position of power because of this book. They only got their trust because of this book. They only got their following and their understanding, whether it's minimal or large, because of this book. So when you see them going against that book, you know to cast them to the side. Stick with that word, because that word is Christ. That word is the Most High. That's His word. That's your only guideline to follow. Like, in this world, we got rules, and people, oh, you can't break the law, you got to follow these rules. Well, the Bible got, now if you don't believe in God and you were okay with it, but we talking about the people who claim they believe in God. Don't sit up here and tell me some worldly reason why we can go against this scripture when this scripture just clearly stated this.
They was talking about it, and what you were just speaking about was this brand of Christianity that this lady got, right? And that's just another form of sectionalizing or titleizing, titling people. You know, you try to put people in different boxes. They do the same thing with Islam, right? Okay, they got extremists. And if you ask me, extremists are ones who follow the Quran by the book. Then you got moderates. And if you ask me, the moderates are the ones who have assimilated into the American ideology. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they do here. Your brand, obviously they're insinuating that her brand of Christianity is different from the brand of Christianity. When really, you know what I'm saying, basically they're saying, the other day, right, this is going to go along with what I'm saying. They said Kevin Durant, the basketball player, is such a non-controversial player. You know, he had this, basically, he said, as opposed to what? The ones that speak up about their contracts, the ones who say this and that about, where they want to go with their life, their family, what city they want to play in. He's such a good guy, he causes no trouble. He's such a good nigga, is what I'm thinking they saying. Yeah. It's the same thing with this lady, man. This lady has somehow bumped heads with the system. That makes you an outcast. That makes you a troublemaker. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if you follow the Bible and the commandments of the Most High, you will become a troublemaker. Yahshua, who everyone called Jesus, gotta believe was a thorn in the government side that was reigning at that time. Yeah. The government didn't love him. You know what I'm saying? The people who wanted to follow the government's way of life did not love him. So why do you call yourself a follower of that man, but the whole world loved you? You know what I'm saying? Because he said, if you love me, the world gonna hate you. Shit. But everybody talking about they following this man named Jesus, the world love. They get money everywhere. The sissies up in the church. You know what I'm saying? The liars in the church. You know what I'm saying? Everybody up in the church and everybody giving money to the church. Churches are actually being able to back politicians, endorsing politicians, even though there's a separation, so-called separation between church and state. I'm just saying, man, if we find ourselves not hated while we doing what we doing, then obviously, man, we doing something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you compromise the truth for a lie somewhere along the line when the magnitude of hypocrites and the magnitude of people who have gone against the commandments love you. They ain't gonna love you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what she's doing. She's taking a stand. She's being hated. I commend her for it. Straight up.
Me too. Read that scripture for me real quick.
Okay, you got me at what?
1 Corinthians 20, 1 Romans, 1st chapter and 26.
Gotcha. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
So the natural use of a woman is to be with a man, and then nowadays...
And so it said, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against their nature.
With women, keep reading. Women on...
And likewise also the men.
Men and men, go ahead.
Yeah, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men working that which is unseemly.
unseemly to nature, straight wickedness, man.
And receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat.
So that's the Bible. So they telling her that her brand of Christianity is not right, but that's the Bible. That's the New Testament, Romans 1:26. We went to the Old Testament, Leviticus 13 and 20. So that's from old to new. So the Bible precept, the Old Testament is saying the same stuff the New Testament. The New Testament just gives you a little brief of it. It kind of just gives you maybe one, it gives you, it basically just says one thing, but all the stuff in the Old Testament branch into that one thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like the New Testament gives you the root. You know what I'm saying? But all the other stuff in the Old Testament goes into that root. They is like the branches. So really, he didn't have to tell you all that stuff in the Old Testament again. All he had to do is say one thing, and you will see that if you do this one thing, it's still equaling out to what it said in the Old Testament. Right. Or the many things that you do is going to equal out to one of them commandments. You know what I'm saying? Just like if you, you know what I'm saying, if you worship other deities, you know what I'm saying, that go with idolatry. You know what I'm saying? You know, in the holidays. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't really have to...
Placing rivals.
Yeah, he didn't really have to go over that again. Yeah. He just had to say idolatry. Right. He didn't have to go over the gods like he did in the Old Testament, the Christmas with the Christmas tree in Jeremiah 10. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's Kings with the... with Ashtaroth, which is Easter, telling them not to deal with that. So he just said idolatry. Yeah, so he just put it in one, you know what I'm saying?
So idolatry, would you agree, is if you was to put your occupation before the Most High?
Yeah, that's totally idolatry.
Because you're so ambitious that you're willing to do things for this occupation that completely go against, you know, what he told you to do.
But what kills me is most of these people who are in these churches are these quote unquote educated people, because we know the church is a system, is a institution also. And what they do is they set up their people. Like for instance, you know, I know a young lady who got an education. Guess what? She's the Bible school teacher. They put these quote unquote educated people in every spot. You know what I'm saying? So guess what? They know these people have a certain amount of morality. For one of you in Christianity, you really don't. You pretty much don't have no morals. You know what I'm saying? But it is some Christians who don't know the full truth, who do, or maybe would like to know the full truth, or just have a little bit of morality. But Christianity, for the most part, is totally against the Bible.
And can I make this statement? You know can I make a statement about what you just said about the Christians that you said? About the Christians that you said might want to know the truth, you know what I'm saying, that all Christians aren't, you know, just doing what they want to do. So then you put the responsibility on the pastor or the shepherd, the one that's responsible for, you know, administering this word, right, that could possibly change their life. Man, when that fool get up on the pulpit, or up on his podium and start telling these lies, or not even telling what this book is actually saying, going on and on with a sermon, reading 2 scriptures but doing everything else philosophical, then you out your mind, man, because you're not freeing the people. You're not giving them the food that they need to leave you, so that they can go get a flock of their own, become a shepherd to someone, help somebody else. You're trying to keep these people. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to socialize these people. And the men that are coming up now who may have a problem about you, or the women coming up now who may have a problem with some things you said, they don't want to talk. They don't want to bring it up because the whole church is socialized. They love this pastor, so they're gonna step on the head of this man or woman who might bring this pastor to task with what he may have said or what he failed to mention. And a lot of people end up leaving the church as opposed to telling this man when they need to tell him. So the problem just prevails. It just goes on. So people ain't standing up, you know what I'm saying? People ain't standing up for what they say they believe in. If you believe in that you're supposed to hurl truth in the face of falsehood, then why you ain't do it? You know what I'm saying? How is it? It's so easy because when you got a big thing called socialization, people are socialized from the house to the school to the church. When you socialize like that, man, it makes you feel like if I was to say something to this man, it wouldn't be important. It wouldn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone loves him. But it's not the point in doing that. It's that you're supposed to love the Most High before you love any man in the suit. You know what I'm saying? You got to call these men to task. That's the only way you're going to get them out of there. And that same way with the neighborhoods. Ain't no police going to come down here and change our neighborhoods. Black men going to have to stand on these blocks and get these boys off the block. If that's what you say you about. You know what I'm saying? And somebody going to get shot behind it too. And it might be you. You know what I'm saying? But if you say that's really what you about, and you really gonna be about your people, then why are you dependent on a police officer who probably don't even live in Detroit to come down here and police and govern your neighborhood better than you? You got all this garbage on these streets around here. Why you and your kids ain't out there cleaning it up, setting a precedence about what the type of what we're gonna be doing around this neighborhood now? One person see you do it, somebody else will help you. Ain't nobody about to move that dope house off the block. Police are raided. They gonna bust it back open at the 6 o'clock the next day. You know what I'm saying? Because the men who will smash another man for stepping on their shoe won't smash a man across the street for selling dope in their neighborhood or endangering their children by having a dope house or doing whatever lewd acts they may do in front of their children. But you'll mug me or you want to hurt me if you think I stared at you too long. Or if I scuff your shoe. But you won't stand up for your woman though, man. You know what I'm saying? You won't stand up for your future. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, man. It's about responsibility. So women like this lady here that's standing up, man, I'm with her, man. I'm with anybody got the audacity to speak up against this stuff, dog. Because, I mean, I feel like you come through here, you call yourself brave, you call yourself a soldier, you call yourself a boss lady or a lady that independent woman, which I ain't gonna go there. But you're supposed to be able to hearken to the truth. And not just hearken to it, not be able to hear it, but once you hear it, translate it, manifest it in your life. Even if you still struggling with what you're struggling with. You know, and we ain't perfect because we do what we do. We just know that this is the purpose. You come through, I still got to go to work tomorrow. You still got to go to work tomorrow. We still got bills that need to be paid. We still got things we struggling with. But we have a higher calling that everybody has. It's not, you ain't got no higher calling that's better than mine. We all got something that we was told to do. The only way you're going to know what the higher calling is to get in the book, do the research, find out what these words in your Bible phonetically mean, be a leader in your own self and quit letting the pastor raise you, you know what I'm saying, and do it like that. You know what I'm saying? But until then, man, you're just another follower. You follow your pastor like you follow your president. You know what I'm saying? You following. Everything you do in your life is about being hand-fed. That means you just like a weakling. You know what I'm saying? You need somebody to tell you where to stand at all the time. You don't question nobody. You know what I'm saying? Even if you got a question, though. You don't question nobody, you know what I'm saying? Because you fear confrontation. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be confrontational in this world. Especially a world that up is down and down is up in. You know what I'm saying? You know it's wrong.
Right.
But since everybody's doing it, you feel like you have no voice. Man, I want to say the word F that, but man, bump that. You know what I'm saying? We come to this situation that we in, right? With the government, with our cities, with our households. Who else is it on to change it but us? I mean, I can't just blame a government for what I know a people is actually doing to me. My people ain't doing what they're supposed to be doing, man. I don't all the time do what I'm supposed to be doing. But the bottom line is, where did my people get the nerve or idea that they can actually raise kids like this? Or they can actually live a life like this? Who taught them this? Who socialized them? So I'm gonna point fingers at everybody, you know what I'm saying? But the head of the household, the president on down, the government on down, if any government you have, man, the people follow that idea. Right? I can't come in your house and say your kid is just a little, I mean, he just might be rambunctious, maybe even evil. I couldn't separate him from his parents when I make that assumption. Right. I gotta think he learned it from somewhere. He ain't been nowhere but outside this house. Right. You know what I'm saying? So if the people in this country are practicing all types of evils, you got to look at the government. Even though they do their stuff behind closed doors, where is it coming from? You know what I'm saying? That's all. You know. That's really what I gotta say about that.
Let me read some scriptures real quick. Let me precept something. If I can find it. I mean, if I can get my hand together with it. First of all, I'm going to start with this St. John. It says, and the light shineth in darkness.
But?
and the darkness comprehended not. You see what I'm saying? So we trying to be the light shining to people, and if you can't comprehend it, I don't know what to tell you. You must still be in darkness.
And not only that, but that your heart is dark.
Right.
You can't understand it because your mind is dark. You know what I'm saying? Say the light shine in the dark. Because when we come around to people who don't understand this, we shine. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got people who might go look at Michigan Israelites or check to see if we posted something on Facebook. When we speak this truth, we gonna shine because this truth is Christ. Christ said he the truth. So everything that's true is him. You know what I'm saying? So when we speak this truth, that light gonna shine. But the people that don't understand this, not only is they in darkness, they don't comprehend it because their heart is dark. Their mind is dark.
Right. You simple-minded. Let me precept that real quick. That was just John 1. Let me see where that was. Hold on, man. That was John St. John 1 and 5. Now I'm gonna precept that with Matthew 7 and 13. It says, "Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate." So the gate is wide, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. Man, so basically it's saying where everybody going who say we wrong, but I guess remember the masses think like everybody else. Yeah. The masses are programmed. We the people thinking outside the box. So it says, "Enter ye at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat." So many people gonna be deceived, man, because you just like everybody else, man. You think that what come on TV is true. Okay, even though we know it's a saying that say this: if something is worth having, it's gonna be hard to get, right? So what we got this because we studied hard. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what I know. People know me from the streets, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That ain't even important. But my whole point in saying that is that you will be like, dang, how he know that stuff? Because the times you wasn't seeing me when I cut that stuff out and gave that stuff a break. I was learning something else. Right. So then I'm gonna finish this out. It says, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way, so it's a small narrow way which leadeth into life, and few there be that find it. Okay, so few gonna find the right way. I'm not even saying that I'm all the way, because there's a lot of stuff I need to learn. But the thing is, we still reading and trying to find stuff out. See, people see that term "saved" got people caught up. Yeah, see, people say, "Well, I'm saved." They be like, "Save means the word save means safe." How you safe if you can still backslide and go into the world? Everybody that's a Christian or whatever know that it's something called backslide. You know what I'm saying, in the Bible. So therefore, if you can backslide, how was you still safe? You know what I'm saying? Just because you go in the water and say, confess that you believe Jesus is your Savior, don't mean that you saved, man. You know what I'm saying? You know how many people went in that water and confessed that, and and I will come to this knowledge with them, and I come with them, and they will say, "Well, look, I'm saved and I confessed already." Okay, so that don't mean nothing. But if you save and confess, you're supposed to be coming to me with this knowledge and truth. It's supposed to be the other way around. We're supposed to be having an intellectual conversation about what you done learned and what I done learned and how you might interpret the scripture, because you on the same page I'm on, or maybe you might be a little bit ahead of me and you trying to put me up on something, but I'm willing to listen to you. Okay, so then we're going to keep precepting. We're going to go back to John. I think we're going to be in... Hold on, bro. Give me a second. We're going to be at John 3 and 17. So it says, For the Most High sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. He that believeth on him is not condemned. You know what I'm saying? But believeth mean that you working towards something. I think I already went through that one before.
It don't matter. If you believe, do it again.
If you believe something, if you believe in something, then you're going to stay on that path because that's what you believe. Like, that's like believing is like having faith. You know what I'm saying? If you got faith in something, you feel me? You gonna work towards accomplishing that. Like I said in one of the other videos, if you're a freshman in college, okay, you believe that you're gonna graduate, so what you gonna do? Or you got faith that you're gonna graduate, so you're gonna keep on that task to graduate.
How about this?
You know what I'm saying?
If you believe by not looking both ways, you're gonna get hit by a car. You're gonna look both ways for the fact you know you're gonna get hit by a car.
Right.
You believe that because somehow or another you may have heard it before and actually seen somebody get hit by a car. You know this can happen.
Right.
You believe it, so you look both ways. Now, if you say you believe that he is the truth, but you don't follow what he said to do, then do you really believe it?
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? Because to believe is to do.
Right, yep.
And why you ain't looking both ways before you cross the street? Everybody crossing the street, they ain't looking both ways, looking one way. What they been told, you know what I'm saying, being bird fed, you know what I'm saying, but they not looking both ways, you know what I'm saying?
Trusting other people to stop for them.
And that's what's gonna happen. You gonna cross the street, you gonna get hit by this truth.
Straight over.
Yeah, you're gonna get hit by this truth.
Let me read this real quick. You done? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is John 3:19. It says, and this is the condemnation that light is coming to the world. So truth is coming to the world. And men love darkness. So people love partying and slutting and schmutting.
And lies.
You know what I'm saying? Lies. Yeah, like you said, and lies. So it says what? Darkness, they love darkness rather than light because their deeds were evil. Most of these people who don't want to hear this stuff want to keep making that money and at the same time they know, because we didn't inform them that they not accepting the Most High for real if they believe in this book. You know what I'm saying? So they want to keep doing their evil deeds. You see what I'm saying? They don't want to be like, look, I mean, the first thing you do is just accept it as I'm wrong. Because if you don't even feel like you're wrong, then how you going to make it right? You know what I'm saying? That's like somebody who a thief. If you don't even think you stealing, how you going to stop stealing? You know what I'm saying? Because you think it's right. If you don't think it's wrong, you're going to keep continuing to do it because you don't think it's wrong. Okay, it says, for everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to light, lest his deeds should be reproved. So they don't want to come to the light because their deeds going to get checked. And like I said, we not perfect, but we accept if we wrong. You know what I'm saying? I accept if I'm wrong. If somebody come to me, well, brother, this and this and that. Okay, let me see it in scripture. Bam, I'm wrong. Okay. Because that's the first step to correcting is to recognize it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to just precept a couple more. It says, but he that doeth truth cometh to the light. Truth. It says, but he that doeth truth. So the Most High in Christ, they about truth. You see what I'm saying? It's truth that when it rains, precipitation, you got grass that grow. Ain't that true? That's the Most High. Everything works in truth. That's not a lie. So it don't matter whether if you lying about the light on or off. It all deals with truth, man. So it says that his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in the Most High. Okay, I'm gonna precept a couple more. We're gonna go to 1 John. We're gonna go to 1 John real quick.
I want to chime in with what you said about the when you were talking about the path being narrow. The path being narrow. He can call me out. You know, what I was gonna say. You know, what was it saying about the staff about sparing the rod with the children? Can you say that?
Spare the rod, spoil the child.
Right. Now we usually take that as like to, you know, to don't miss an opportunity to whoop your child if they're wrong. That's how a lot of people interpret that. But if we interpret it as the rod is straight, you know what I'm saying? The rod is, you know what I'm saying? Spare the rod also means spare teaching them the straight way. Then you spoil the child. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because the rod, you gotta look what it represents. The rod is a straight thing, and it helps you to lean on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you make a mistake in teaching your child that straight way, you know what I'm saying, or having an impact where they could know that okay, they may not follow it right away, but if you don't do that, then you know that's sparing the rod. Yeah. Because you can beat your child and show them every crooked way. You still spared the rod. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You don't whoop their butt, but then show them every type of demonic way a human being actually live. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to add that to y'all.
Yeah, so also...
Let me finish these precepts real quick, and then I'm going to let you go ahead. I'm going to just precept a couple more. This is actually the last one. This is the key one. It says, love not the world. Hold on, this is 1 John 2 and 15. Okay? It says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. Don't these people love the things of the world? This woman we were talking about, if she loved the world so much, she wouldn't have went against that school system that was telling her, don't follow what you believe in your morals. You see what I'm saying? But she didn't love the world. She would have been like, hold on, this is my education. I got to get my education. Skip that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I got to be somebody.
Yeah, it's money over everything.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But she has some type
money
of
over everything
and respect. Yeah, she has some respect for the Lord the Most High for one, and then herself. You know what I'm saying? Because she actually stands for something. They tell you if you don't stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. But what cats are standing for? They stand for drugs. They standing for guns. They standing for talking about who the best rapper, who Jeezy or who gonna sell more, Jeezy or Nicki Minaj. You know what I'm saying? That's what people stand for. They don't stand for nothing. You see what I'm saying? Things of the world. It says, if any man love the world, so if you love this world and you talking to me like, well, you talking about the gov and you hating and this and this and that, and you must be mad because you ain't got this or this. That mean I don't love the world anyway. Maybe you don't know I don't care about that stuff. Maybe I done had that stuff already. Some people who know me know better than to say some stuff like that. Because real talk, Nick, we ain't going to go into that because it's even not even important. It says, if any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. You know what I'm saying? It says, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. It says, and the world passes away and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of the Father abideth forever. You see what I'm saying? It says, little children, it is in the last time, and as ye have heard, that Antichrist shall come. So we see that this man is an Antichrist. We just pointed that out before. We done talked. The man that's talking to this lady, talking about we're going to change the way you feel and the way you believe. He's an Antichrist, okay? It says, and as ye have heard, that Antichrist shall come, even now are there many antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time. You see what I'm saying? So you got to understand this. It ain't just going to be one antichrist. See, that's what the church got people fooled. It ain't just one.
It's Antichrist idea, not individual.
Right. So therefore, this man came with an Antichrist idea, and since you think the church, the Christian church done taught you that it's going to be one Antichrist,
you get hit all over the place. And then looking for
and then you don't read your Bible, so you would never see that scripture that is many Antichrists.
Come on now.
So you just thinking like, I'm just waiting for this one man. It can't be this school system. It can't be this president. It can't be my mama who told me about Christianity or any other religion. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just thinking like, I'm all good until the rapture come. When ain't no rapture come, because what? J.N. Darwin.
John Nelson Darby.
John Nelson Darwin. Darby had made up the rapture in the early 1900s. So that's just 1800, late 1800s. So that's just a false doctrine right there. You should be gone right now.
Can I add something to what you were saying?
Go ahead.
Pass me that.
I got it. Let me get it.
Pass me that.
Let me get it.
You were saying about, the Antichrist and how a lot of people are looking for an individual. So they, like I said, they getting hit all over the place by Antichrist ideas, right? Come from the job or whatever. And that's what I was trying to tell a guy about, the Messiah being in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights wrestling with the devil. I was trying to tell my man, quit trying to think of this man with a red suit on sitting next to him, tempting him. This is something he was going through with himself. This is the reason for the fast. Yeah, but that's my point. He was wrestling with himself, knowing he came from the lineage of David. He could hit the throne, knowing who he was, and he could, have all these type of things done for him. But the key about his 40 days and 40 nights in the wilderness, his fasting, man, is that he had reigned supreme over all the temptations that came through him, through his, whatever you want to call it, the man in the red suit that was sitting next to him, or whether he was just wrestling with his lower self, right? He became triumphant, so good to the point that the devil never approached him again. You know what I'm saying? And that's powerful. Yeah. Where you can be so keyed on serving the Most High, so disciplined, so willing to fast, that those desires that you won't have, that you once had, never even approach you again. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You have that, at that point you good.
And that's key. That's key in why he did something that no man could ever do. That he fasted, that he denied his flesh for 40 days and 40 nights. And to be that spiritually strong, you have to deny your flesh. Even if it's not a sin, if you just like fried chicken, like I tell them, when we, you know what I'm saying, when we get to the point spiritually, like you said, we know this knowledge, man. We come from the street. Everybody got their own demons. We doing the best, you know what I'm saying, we can at this moment. And the best we can do, the best we can at this moment. Right. But at the same time, like I said, I know when the going get tough, we going to have to strengthen our spirit, and it's going to come to denying your flesh. Like I said, it may not be over a sin. Like eating fried chicken ain't a sin, but if you love it, give it up while you're trying to get strong from the Most High. If you love anything you love doing, whether it's a sin or not, give that up for the Most High to focus on that. That's the stuff that's going to strengthen your spirit, because you deny it's not about you. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't save the world. But with the power of the Most High, you can save lives. You can save souls. But you can't do it without His power. Right. And He's not going to give you that power and you not living holy. He's not going to do it. So it comes down to, like, I be thinking about this all the time. Like, I know so much. I be wanting to get right before I die. I don't want to go to the lake of fire. And then right after I think that, I be like, but dog, forget you. What about all the people that need what you know? What about all the people that's weaker than you? Like, dog, you got to get right to save somebody else. Right. Not to save yourself. Right. Not to save yourself. You got to get right to save some other people, man. Right. Because you don't want nobody to go to that lake of fire.
That's what I was saying about you two. Just having the experience that I've had with y'all for, you know, the time that I've been. I mean, I know this brother all my life, you know, all his life. That's my blood. But just the experience that I had just being out there with y'all, man, like, y'all in front of the projects, y'all in front of the liquor store, y'all in front of churches. You probably can get it better in front of a church than you can get in front of these liquor stores and projects, you know what I'm saying, with what y'all giving, you know what I'm saying, and what I've been a part of, man. I'm thankful for y'all. Because the bottom line is, Judah, you don't never have to tell nobody nothing about what you used to be, and we ain't got to tell nobody nothing about what we've been through. What we trying to do right now, man, is try to make an impact the best that we can, because that is the purpose. Yeah. No, there's no other reason. And I don't know what type of impact I'm going to have. Half the time I don't even know what my purpose is. And I was telling Judah the other day, you know what I'm saying, sometimes I don't know what to do. But knowing what not to do is sufficient enough. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes just knowing what not to do. I know what not to do. I know what I'm directed to do. I do it, but I don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't know how these words I say will affect somebody. But I do know, man, if I was just go back to the human being or the subhuman being that I was, I know the results of that. Yeah. I don't know what the promise is, because nobody has had, nobody that I've known in my past has had the endurance to show me what following Him actually results into. So, you know, it's about trusting it. You know, trusting the fact that I know if I just do good gonna happen. The same way I can look at my past and see all the devastation and what the results of that was. It's proof. Now, will I have faith? You know what I'm saying? The brother was talking about faith. You know, will I have faith that if I continue on in this long race, that I will be victorious? Not victorious in having things, obtaining things. Victorious in a way that I can't even comprehend. I can't even say what it is. Because as soon as I say it, now I put it in a box and I put limits around it, and I made it something that's less than the Most High. So when we let Him bless us, when we let Him show us our victory, then it's different than any idea of success I can have for myself. So, you know, again, man, I'm proud to be a part of everything that's going on good. Yeah. Considering all the things that I done did that was upsetting to me as a grown man, and upsetting to past victims and past people that I've affected. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's not about what you got. If you obtain the world and you're still shady, you're still a liar, you wake up unhappy, you don't know how to treat people, you're a backbiter, you're a liar, don't nobody like you, but you got something. You have a nice house, you have a nice car, but you don't even want to wake up in the morning. You know what I'm saying? It's because there's a spiritual deficiency. There's something you're missing. And that thing that you're missing is following what the instructions are to even be here in the first place.
Because the Bible, I mean, this baby food in the Bible where it says...
Is it Gerber's?
It's
Gerber's.
It ain't even Gerber's, man. It's you still eating off the umbilical cord.
Okay.
It's like that.
Yeah.
Where it says,
John 3:16.
No, whatever a man, if a man gain the world and lose his soul. Yeah. But that's what cats is doing. Yeah. They selling out for this money, but they still going, like, you can't put two and two together? That's what that's talking about.
Yeah.
You want to gain all these worldly possessions
to lose your eternal soul.
Yeah, I mean,
something finite to lose.
But people twist that up to think that means that you're supposed to let this world slide and not get it in this world, but get it in an eternal world. That's not what that means. That means you done lost your Lord on this world in the hunt for this cash, in the hunt for this car. You done lost your whole concept of what it means to be a servant. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it doesn't mean that you're supposed to bypass, luxurious things in this world. It's just that when you substitute these things for your worship and for your belief and for your willingness to serve.
Because you gotta understand, eternity encompasses before and after. Yeah. Okay. So your soul exists in this world. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, you losing your soul in this world even before you die and lose it for eternity. Because eternity encompasses before we was born, while we here on this world, and the afterlife.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to go ahead and get to this article. It says, Eastern attacked and denigrated Ward's sincere religious beliefs during a disciplinary proceeding and ultimately expelled her because of those beliefs. Ward's treatment exemplifies how the left's notions of tolerance and non-discrimination do not extend to those with orthodox Christian views, which means the original beliefs of the Bible. Increasingly, we are seeing certain professional associations and universities offering programs designed to train students for those professions interpret their codes in a way that gerrymanders people with religious convictions out of those careers. This is precisely what EMU did to Ward. You know what I'm saying? So we're saying that more and more you're seeing universities do this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Try and coerce people out of their moral views, whether it be through Christianity or Islam, because morality is something that's innate. We got all type of immoral people claiming to be Christians, Muslims.
It's innate for some people.
Black Hebrew Israelites. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But you know right from wrong. Like, you don't have to tell somebody that killing is right or wrong or sleeping with somebody else's girl because you don't want somebody doing it to you. If you don't want somebody doing it to you, it's wrong. If you didn't know that way to figure that out, if it was that difficult,
but you still need somebody to teach you.
If you don't want somebody doing it to you, it's wrong. For real, unless it's another purpose besides like, okay, well you killed my such and such, so I kill you. That's.
But you should use the word kill. You should use the word murder. Because ain't nothing wrong killing somebody.
Yeah. Sometimes killing is
justifiable.
Right.
Yeah, but it's always something wrong with murder.
Yeah, because murder is usually unjustifiable and not reasonable and not logical.
The whole word itself.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have to kill certain animals to eat.
Exactly.
We still killing something, but it's a righteous purpose involved in it. You know what I'm saying? When you killing somebody for your own selfish reason that ain't gonna benefit nobody but you, then that's wrong. But say you killing somebody that's harming other people. You didn't save 100 people by killing this one person. Yeah, it's not murder. You know what I'm saying?
That's circumventing a problem. But look, hey, look, man. I think that when it comes to I think it's more than one way to kill somebody. I think you can kill somebody, or you can just by setting them up as a parent, right? Say you teach your child all types of things and they ain't got no business learning at all. Then you murder them. You know what I'm saying? Because they future, they done deal. You know what I'm saying? They done deal, they cook. Or it's more than one way to rob from somebody or steal from somebody than to take your property. I can tell you a lie. And I can tell somebody who loved me a lie. And for the fact that they love for me allows them to hear what I'm saying and want to follow what I'm saying, but the whole time they listen to me, I'm lying to them. But they follow me. So I robbed them. Because if I told them the truth, then they would have the ability or the freedom to make a decision on what they want to do with their life. But since I lied, I robbed them of that choice. They don't have no choice no more to decide on how they want to handle the situation. And that's what I'm talking about, top-down authority that lies to the people. You're robbing me. Because if you tell me the choice, if you tell me the truth about who I am, now I have a choice about how I want to approach this problem. If you tell me the truth about who I am in that book, now I have a choice about how I go about my life experience. You know what I'm saying? Who I am, where I'm from, who my Lord is, what's my language, and things like I have a choice of how I deal with this world. But if you tell me lies, and you have always been my authority, and I'm socialized to believe your lies, you done robbed me. Because now I don't have no choice. Yeah, I can make little small choices in my day, but I don't have no real choices, man. Because my overall life, the overall expression of what's real, what's reality, has been a lie. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing about getting true. The biggest thing about, coming to terms that everything that you thought was real wasn't real. You know what I'm saying? And then that's something that's hard to eat because everybody want to be like, I can still throw my Christmas tree and do the Easter eggs. We're going to do our thing. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line is, man, it's not real. As soon as you eat that food, we can do some business.
And then, like you said, it's not real. It's because we're gonna wrap this up too. Unless you got something.
Yeah, I'm just finished the article.
I gotta get my pee.
Okay, this another thing I want to say is you got to understand this. People have done bad stuff in their life. Okay, they done bad stuff in their life, so they went to church. Found out church was a lie, right? So then you go back and you got to be like, dang, I was just doing bad. I'm trying to do good. I find out the so-called good is bad because I have researched it. Then you go and see, look, I'm trying to get a job. I don't want to hustle no more. You know what I'm saying? While you studying truth still, you find out that people like the government bringing drugs in here. So you're like, dang. You know what I'm saying?
Nowhere to run
to,
baby.
Really, you know what I'm saying? Right. I'm trying to be a good man. You know what I'm saying? I can't be a good man and go to this Christian church because it's not godly. You know what I'm saying? Then I can't be a good man to everybody else because I got an alternative view.
But do you think that's the way the Most High reveals himself to man? He corners you in. He corners you in so you see nothing but him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think all those ways are good. When you just look every place you go to, looking for him, you find he ain't there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I think I used to be so upset at that. Or you find some of this alternative information that just lifts you or opens your eyes up to all the atrocities and all the corruption in the church. But I think that's beautiful, man, because at the end of the day, man, I get a chance to know that, this is his way of putting me on the line. Now, because there's a lot of people that he chose to leave worshiping pastors. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that he left to, go believe in all your politicians, believe in your government, blindly, without any questions asked. It's just about an opportunity to be thankful that you're not the one. You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful that I'm not the one to just be a sheep just to follow anybody. There's a particular tone of voice that my shepherds got to have for me to follow. I know my shepherd's voice. Now, will I always come? I come as fast as I can, but there's voices I know that ain't my shepherd's voice. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I don't come in there at all. But those are the shepherds that are ruling this. Those are the shepherds of this earth, the flock of this earth. Yeah. And their voice is not familiar to me. You know what I'm saying? But since I be having it out with them, you know what I'm saying? That I'm probably gonna, we always targets. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then you got so many so-called sisters and brothers who look just like you, but ain't you. Because they done adopted these ideas that talking to them is like talking to the man on the moon. You know what I'm saying? So it's really just like, man, it's crazy, man.
We speaking Chinese to cats.
Right. Chinese to cats. And it's basic. It's not, I'm not going to say it's basic. I'm not going to use the word common sense. I think that's a letdown to people. But I think that most people, most black people, their hearts are open for the truth. And I think that the way we handle truth is immature. Yeah. Because you ain't ready to change right now. If I tell you smoking is bad, do not tell me that you gotta die something. How about you tell me that that's true? Man, I just ain't ready to quit right now.
Right, that's the
Why
real.
not just do that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why endorse?
I'm glad you said
why
that.
endorse these behaviors, man? Because you're not ready to change them, as opposed to just being honest and saying, I'm not ready to stop it right now, but what you said is true. And any way I can help you get that out, I will. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not about to lie and give you some old cliche of a good sounding reason of why I ain't gonna do what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Smoking kills or kills. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, just, align yourself with the truth. You know what I'm saying? Then it ain't like, it's not about being holy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be holy out here. I'm trying to tell you what I know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you nothing that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Everything that lines up in the Bible about the curses, I can completely attribute them to the plight of black people in America, one by one. I know, every last curse, read them. Why do you think we got diabetes? Why do you think we've been serving a strange people in a strange land for 400 years? Why do you think they talked about people being snatched from up on the boat from their homeland? We parallel the story of the people in Egypt. 100%. The African Americans' experience in America parallels the Egyptians' experience up under the hand of Pharaoh. Right? Now, these people were led by a liberator, Moses, to go and be free. They didn't want to be slaves, but when they got out to the wilderness, they bumped heads with their liberator, right? Because they didn't want to be slaves, but they shrunk at the responsibility of being free. So what they do? They was always at his head. We don't want to do this. Are we going to eat the same food every day? Are we going to do this? Are we going to do this? And then when they have to go up on the mount to get the tablets, what they do? They built a gold calf. It's the same peculiar people that we are today. We don't want to be rude, but we have always shrunk the responsibility to be men and women to go for self. This is how you know. And I'm just listening. I just talked about 3 reasons, 3 curses. But you read Deuteronomy. Just go through it, read all the curses that will have you to be able to identify the true Hebrews of the Bible, and I guarantee you'll look at us.
Yes, 43 curses, man. That's not no.
And you're going to fit every last one of them. Yeah. Like a tailor-made suit. You know what I'm saying? And when anything, something fits tailor-made, it's not a coincidence. You can shut it off. You can shut it off if you want to, but you're going to continue to get what was promised to us. But the thing is that we are going to, it says that something to the extent that the stone